What if I told you that some of your florist customers are worth 3 times more than others, and you're probably ignoring the most valuable ones? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which customers to focus on so that you could double your revenue in the next 30 days. I'm Kathleen, and I have helped thousands of florists transform their businesses by focusing on what actually moves the needle. And today we're going to talk about 3 different kinds of florist customers and why treating them all the same is actually costing you money. The first thing I want you to do is grab your sales transactions for the last 2 weeks. And I want you to categorize every transaction into one of 3 buckets. Was it a walk-in customer? Was it a phone order? Or did the order come through your website? Once you've categorized every one of those transactions into one of those 3 buckets, then I want you to calculate the average order value for each one. The very first time that I did this, I was shocked because when we started categorizing our customers by the channel that they ordered by, all of a sudden I realized I have my energy focused in all of the wrong places, because it's very normal when you do this exercise that your walk-in customers are spending an average of $50. The people on the phone to spend an average between $75 and $85. And the orders coming through your website are typically even higher than that and could be somewhere between 100 and 150. And if you compare these 3 numbers, you'll actually see, and it is completely normal to notice, that your website orders are 2 to 3 times the value of somebody who walks into your shop, and somebody who's ordering over the phone typically spends less than somebody who's ordering on your website, but more than somebody who walks into your shop. And let's talk a little bit about why this happens, because these 3 customers are actually solving different problems. So that's why their behavior is different, and that's why how much they spend on flowers is different. So if we go into a totally different category and we think about somebody who might be buying a cake, there's the grab-and-go cake customer might swing by the grocery store, check out what they have on hand. They're not looking for anything fancy. They value convenience. They don't need any customization. They just want to grab and go. The second group of customers looking to buy a cake, we might call the planners. And they're going to place an order with the fancy cake shop in town. They want something special. They know they need to plan ahead. And they want a little bit of customization. They're seeking that little bit of a personal experience. And then there is the third group of customers, the premium experience seeker. And in many cases, that person can't even be there to deliver the cake, but they want to show the recipient that they are loved. It's like, I want my bestie to know that I am there in spirit with her. I need somebody to create something that's beautiful, personalize it, deliver it perfectly, and handle every detail. And that person who is seeking that premium experience values every step in the process. Because essentially what you're doing in that instance, when you're selling your designs to those premium experience seekers, is you're bundling up a hug, delivering it to a specific person on a specific day for a specific reason. And that person who's looking for the premium cake that wants to be delivered to their bestie operates with a different thought process. And they actually look at the entire experience of what you're offering. So when you can break it down into these 3 categories, that helps to shed some light in terms of why people that will walk into your shop versus people who will call versus people that order online spend different amounts on their order. The way that I found really helpful to think about this is that the walk-in customer, the phone customer, and the person that's ordering on your website, treat these like it's 3 different businesses. The minute that I did that, I realized, I am making this really hard for myself, because I was treating everybody the same. I was treating all 3 channels the same. And it's like you're running 3 separate businesses, but you're all treating it as one. So that's where the frustration comes from. But here's what you can do about it. Right now, I want you to pick one segment that you're going to focus on for the next 30 days. Write it down, put it into your calendar, and commit to making that decision. Simply committing to focus on optimizing one channel, one segment of customers to maximize your profitability is like 50% of your success. And particularly when you're in like the vortex of your shop, you're going to be confronted with walk-in customers, the phone's going to ring, and you're going to want to be making updates on your website. But having that commitment, setting a clear priority and committing to this for the next 30 days is going to be the thing that helps you move the needle in your business. And this is also how you combat shiny object syndrome. Because you're creative, you're hugely capable, you're smart. You can make updates to your website, changes to your business, put a sales script together in a day, and your brain sees possibilities everywhere. That's what makes you a phenomenal business owner. But it's also the thing that sabotages your growth. So remember, more focus, more discipline, commit to this decision for the next 30 days. You're going to blow your mind with what you can achieve in your business. Also, remember, when you think it's not happening fast enough, when you made an update yesterday and today you're like, I should have tripled my revenue by now. Give it time. So I'll say commit to this for 30 days. Remember, you're running a marathon, not a sprint. But focus on simplicity, commit to that one channel, commit to it for 30 days, put it in writing. After I did that audit to see what the average person spent when they walked into the shop versus somebody over the phone versus somebody on our website, for me, it became crystal clear that I need to prioritize online orders. And that was for 3 reasons. The most obvious one being it's currently the highest average order value. So that's where the bulk of the revenue is coming in. But there are 2 other reasons for committing to making online orders your number 1 priority. It's more scalable. So you get your website set up, you optimize it so that your average order value is between $100, $120, $150. That's going to then have a ripple effect in your business every single day that you take orders. Which leads to the 3rd reason that it's awesome, and that's the compound effect. Because those 1% changes that you make in your business, the decision to commit to doing online orders as your number 1 priority so that you can double your revenue, be more profitable, know where to focus your time, energy, and effort to make more money, every single step, every single update, every single product you refine, every single category that you simplify, every change that you make on your website benefits every future order that you get. Every new customer that lands on your website, every new client that wants to place an order, it compounds week after week after week. And that's the beautiful thing about the compound effect. So there's 3 things that you can do today to help you increase your profitability and get more focused so that you can make more money and increase your sales. And particularly if you're at that point in your business where you're thinking, should I be investing more in SEO? Should I be taking the leap and jumping into Google ads? Like, what should I be doing next in terms of adding more marketing into the mix? The first thing I want you to do is focus on increasing your average order value. Let's say, for example, that on your website right now, your average order value is $75. Restructuring your online catalog and being very strategic with the products that you have and the categories that you feature will help you increase your average order value to $100, which actually has a much bigger impact on the bottom line in your business than you might first think, because that's actually a 25% increase in revenue across the board. Going from $75 to $100 on one order might not seem very much, but if you can do that with all of your orders, if you can increase your average order value from $75 to $100, that's a 25% increase, which means you've just increased your revenue by 25%. So that when you do start to layer on more advertising, when you do put more energy into SEO and start investing in Google ads, you're actually going to see a better return on investment. And that is the definition of working smarter and not harder. It's also what I call the Flower Boss way. Number 2, leverage the compound effect. And this is one of the best things about marketing and sales for florists, because small, consistent actions are what create massive results in your bottom line over time. So those website updates that you make today, the product descriptions that you tweak and improve, increasing your delivery charges, no one update might feel significant right now, but if you extrapolate that over 52 weeks times 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, even if you did that math quickly, you'll feel so motivated to make those changes and get back to work once you see that number. And then number 3, be single-minded. Let your walk-in customers behave exactly the way that they behave. Let your shop setup be exactly what it's been for the last few weeks. Let the phone orders come in exactly the same way that they have before. so that you can conserve your energy and so that you can pour your focus into elevating and optimizing your website, putting that strategy in place so that you can increase your average order value, and not allowing yourself to get distracted by whatever's happening in front of you in the vortex of being in your shop. So that every day you wake up, you commit to yourself and you recommit to yourself that increasing your online average order value is your number one job. You're not going to allow yourself to get distracted. You're not going to compound 900 other things on your to-do list. Job number one every single day is increase your online average order value, continue to track your data, and put the work in so that you know that your strategy is leveraging the compound effect. You could even take this as far as making a not to do list, like quite literally writing down for yourself the things that you're not going to get to in the next 30 days. And that might be updating your window display. It might be that workshop that you thought you'd be hosting in July. Maybe you're going to move it out to September. That styled shoot that you were thinking of collaborating with on a photographer, maybe you move it out to next month. That's what I mean when I say be single-minded, because I want you to pick your number one priority so that you can fast track your growth. Your attention is your most valuable asset. And let's go through this in a little bit more detail. And I've broken this down for you into like a 30-day plan. Essentially, it's just 4 weeks of focus. So in week number 1, i.e. right now, I want you to audit and optimize. So analyze your current online catalog, identify your top selling designs, eliminate the designs that are just causing confusion or feel like duplicates, and be really intentional with what your smallest product price listing is. And the key output from this first week is to make yourself a very specific to-do list of what you're going to do to update your online catalog. Because then in week 2, you're going to start to go in and make those changes. So this is probably going to include identifying where you might have a gap in your products, identifying where you've got the duplicates and going in and archiving them, updating your product descriptions, double checking your prices, and simplifying the number of categories that you're offering your designs under. This is definitely one of those instances where less is better. And then in week number 3, I want you to go in and look at your data again. Even in 2 weeks, you'll have noticed a change because you've already made changes to your online catalog. You're going to see a difference in the data and the orders that are coming through your website. And looking at your data is the fastest way for you to measure your progress. So again, you could go in within that 2-week window and look at what your average order value is, compare it to what it was 2 weeks earlier. And even if you're seeing a $2 change, that is forward progress. That is how you build momentum. Because again, if you just did that math over 52 weeks times 5 years or 10 years, the numbers add up. So small, incremental changes, week upon week upon week, are the secret to your success. And then in week number 4, go in and have another quick audit in your product catalog, because it's very normal for us to kind of shy away from removing some of the products or not quite raising the prices as much as we think we could be. But because you're going to have already seen some progress in the last 3 weeks, you'll have built courage. And courage is how you have the confidence to be able to put that big ballsy design on your website, to increase your prices even further, to eliminate that one design that causes you complete dread when somebody orders it. And this is what I mean by making incremental changes. You don't have to go in and completely blow up your online catalog tomorrow, but instead follow that 4-week plan, do the audit, make the updates, evaluate the data, and adjust as you need to. And in 30 days, you're going to blow your mind with what you've achieved and the updates that you've made on your website. And it's going to show in the orders that you get in your business. I'll also say this is not a time for perfectionism. The beautiful thing about marketing for florists is that every new day, there's a whole new group of customers that are coming your way. So nobody's going to be looking at your website thinking, well, yesterday she had this listed for $89 and today it's $115. Nobody's paying that much attention. The other thing that I want you to commit to, and you could write this down on your I'm not going to do this in the next 30 days, is any sort of comparison shopping. It doesn't matter what your competition is doing. It doesn't matter if they're offering a product that's a third of the price of something that's on your website. That's their business. How they run it is their responsibility. This is your business. How you run your business is your responsibility. So you're going to put your blinders on. You're going to commit to putting in this work in the next 30 days because that's how you're going to build forward momentum. And the third thing that you're not going to do is abandon this strategy within 2 weeks. This is a 30-day commitment. I want you to commit to yourself that you are not going to throw in the towel in 2 weeks' time because the results aren't happening fast enough. Every time I teach this concept to one of my clients, there's always a little bit of a sense of hesitation because it's very normal for us to have invested a huge amount of time and energy into our walk-in customers and to people that answer the phone and kind of neglect what's happening on our website. It's completely normal because it's like when you're in a retail shop, it is like a vortex. It is like the only thing that's happening. But it's like that old saying of like, don't get mad at the results you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. So you're also not going to abandon this strategy in 2 weeks. You're going to commit to this for the next 30 days. And doing that quick audit to understand the average order value of people that walk into your shop, people that order over the phone, and people that order on your website will give you so much clarity in terms of where to put your energy and effort from a marketing and a sales perspective. So when I said earlier that not all customers are created equal, that's what I mean. And I am not saying ignore the people that walk into your shop or be rude to anybody on the phone. All I'm saying is be very intentional with where you put your energy when you're working on your business. It's okay if your window display looks exactly the same for the next 30 days, 90 days, or even a year. It's okay if you follow exactly the same script when somebody calls. It's okay if you put the structure in place so that you can free up your time and energy to optimize your online catalog, fill in those gaps with your product offering, simplify the categories so that you can see that increase in your average order value, because that's going to have an incredible compound effect in the bottom line of your business. And again, I want you to commit to this for the next 30 days. In the grand scheme of running a business, that's not a long time. It's 4 weeks. 4 weeks of deciding to be single-minded. 4 weeks of leveraging the compound effects. 4 weeks of going all in and being very intentional with where your attention goes. And if you found this video helpful, you might also find this video helpful. I walk you through my step-by-step blueprint for you to optimize your online catalog so that you can increase your average order value, make more money, and be more profitable. And I'll see you in the next video.